On the alien planet Zora, humans and the Zorvan Empire were celebrating peace. Colorful lights filled the sky and laughter echoed through the streets. Among the crowd was a woman and her little son Leo, smiling and holding hands. But suddenly, without warning, Zorvan soldiers opened fire. Panic spread. People screamed. Leo was shot. His small body fell, lifeless, in his mother's arms. She didn't scream. She didn't cry. Her face was cold, her eyes full of fire. The aliens had no idea who they had just hurt. That woman was General Aria, the most feared human in the galaxy. Inside a quiet human warship, Aria opened her eyes. Her body was weak, but her mind was sharp, filled with pain, rage, and one clear goal: revenge. Doctors and officers stood around her, unsure what to say. No one dared to ask about her son. She slowly sat up and whispered, "Give me the names." The council told her to rest, warned her not to act. But she removed her badge and said only 5 words, cold and clear. "I'm no general, I'm a mother." The galaxy didn't know yet, but something far more dangerous than war was coming. Aria stood alone in a dark room, watching an old holo recording, her son laughing, running through a garden. A tear rolled down her cheek, the first in years. Flashbacks showed her past. Once a kind soldier, she became a ruthless general after losing her parents in the first alien war. She had promised never to feel again, never to love. But Leo changed that. He was her light. Now that light was gone. Aria opened a hidden door beneath her home. Inside was a secret war base, forgotten by the world. She whispered, "They wanted a monster. I'll give them one." Deep inside the hidden base, Aria activated the Revenant, a banned warship feared for its unmatched power. The ship's systems roared back to life, recognizing her command. She opened weapon vaults, reprogrammed deadly drones, and restored ancient tech created only for war. Alone, she prepared for battle, her armor black, her eyes cold. Meanwhile, panic spread in the Zorvan Empire. They discovered the truth. The woman they thought was a civilian was actually the most feared human commander. Some leaders suggested peace. Others demanded her death. But it was too late. Aria was coming. And this time she was coming alone. Without warning, the Zorvan military base exploded into flames. Drones struck from the sky, fast and silent. Within minutes, everything was gone. No survivors, no mercy. On a burning wall, a message appeared in red. "You took my child. I'll take your empire." Fear spread like fire across the alien worlds. Civilians trembled. Soldiers refused orders. In the shadows, a young Zorvan warrior named Kale began to question everything. Why was a child killed during peace? What were his leaders hiding? As the empire shook, Aria prepared for her next strike. This wasn't war. This was something far worse. Without warning, the Zorvan military base exploded into flames. Drones struck from the sky, fast and silent. Within minutes, everything was gone. No survivors, no mercy. On a burning wall, a message appeared in red. "You took my child. I'll take your empire." Fear spread like fire across the alien worlds. Civilians trembled. Soldiers refused orders. In the shadows, a young Zorvan warrior named Kale began to question everything. Why was a child killed during peace? What were his leaders hiding? As the empire shook, Aria prepared for her next strike. This wasn't war. This was something far worse. Kale dug deep into the Zorvan Empire's archives, uncovering a dark secret. The attack on Leo was no accident. It was part of a plan to provoke war with humans before they grew too strong. A faction of Zorvan leaders wanted to wipe out humanity. Aria, now fully aware of their betrayal, prepared for her final strike. She received a message from the Human Council urging her to return. But Aria, cold and determined, responded, "I was sent to keep peace." They ended it. The war was never truly over. It was just beginning. And now she was the one in control. As Aria moved closer to the Zorvan capital, she received a message from Kale. He had uncovered the truth about the attack, and now he wanted to stop the war. But it was too late. Arya had already made her decision. She offered Kale a choice: bring her the one who ordered her son's death, or face her wrath. The Zorvan leaders were divided, some panicked, others desperate to fight. But Kale, torn between his loyalty and his conscience, agreed. He led Arya to the mastermind, who was hiding in a fortress. The line between peace and war had been crossed, and Arya was ready for justice. Arya stood face to face with the alien responsible for her son's death, his smug expression slowly fading as she stepped closer. The Zorvan leader tried to justify the attack, calling it a necessary sacrifice for the Empire's survival. Arya's eyes burned with cold fury, but she said nothing. Instead, she pulled out a small necklace, Leo's favorite, stained with his blood. She didn't hesitate. The shot rang out, and the leader crumpled to the ground. The other aliens watched in silence, shocked by her unforgiving justice. Arya didn't speak a word. She had no more mercy left. This was the end. The Zorvan Empire, now trembling from Arya's wrath, agreed to a fragile peace. Arya returned, but she was no longer the same woman. Her heart, once filled with love, was now hardened by loss and vengeance. Humans hailed her as a hero, while others whispered that she had become a monster. She ignored their praise, her mind always on one thing: protecting her people. Meanwhile, Kale, now exiled for his role in betraying the Empire, found an unlikely ally in Arya. Together, they began laying the foundations for a new alliance, one born from the ashes of war. But peace, it seemed, was temporary. Years passed, but Arya never stopped watching. On a quiet, forgotten world, she stood in a small garden, surrounded by flowers Leo had loved. The wind whispered through the trees, carrying memories of her son's laughter. She knelt beside the grave, her fingers brushing over the soil. "They'll never hurt us again," she whispered softly, as if he could hear her. In the distance, a new human-alien colony rose, protected by silent drones and hidden weapons. Arya, ever vigilant, turned and walked away, knowing the galaxy would never forget her name. A mother's wrath is eternal.